My goodness. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Mwah, mwah. Thank you to all of you. I just want to tell you that, and Susan's here from the
Hi,
WCAC.
everyone.
Hi, Susan.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
We're good. Susan, we feel like you're on our committee, so we're so glad you're here with us.
I'm just lurking and taking notes, and
No, we're
trying
thrilled.
to give you a brief WCAC update, but we haven't been really meeting at all. So,
Susan, do you know Jeremy? He's right next to you on my screen. If you look to the right, you'll see him. No, he's the senior administrative assistant for the town manager's office, and he's facilitating our meeting.
Okay, perfect.
So I just want to tell you, if you look up to the top left-hand corner of your screen, it says recording. That was on before I even got onto the Zoom. So the town has asked, and I said that was fine. You know, it was a great idea that they're going to record this and make this video available. Of course, all our meetings are public, but they're usually not recorded. So I just wanted to mention that to you all, so you know, so that you are aware that this is going to live in a public forum, even beyond the hour that we'll be together.
Our 15 minutes of fame.
Right. So keep in check, troops. I am just so glad to see you all. I've missed you all. It just feels like, you know, it's just been ages. I mean, I guess our last meeting was February, right? 18 weeks is what I said in the email. 18 weeks.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But it feels like it's been so long, but it hasn't felt like much has happened. You know, in the interim, but I know things are cooking for a lot of you. So why don't we just spend a minute? We don't usually start our meetings like this, but just to hear about how everyone is doing in their various artistic endeavors, like what's going on and how everyone is. Jen, you're in my top left, so why don't I just start with you? What's Radius doing? How are you guys doing?
Well, we had our last concert on March 7th, which was just 4 or 5 days prior to the shutdown. So we rapidly had to cancel all of our spring events, including another concert, a children's concert, a fundraiser. Our fiscal year closes in a couple weeks, so I've been spending a lot of time fundraising and then talking to all of our donors to make sure that they're on board for level funding for next year, regardless of what happens. Because if we're going to survive, we need to have a base of support. We'll be going virtual in the fall, and we have events planned for the spring, but all indication is that those may also need to be transferred to an online experience. The reality is that there is going to probably be a time period where people are allowed to go to concerts, but they're not going to feel comfortable doing so. And so we need to make sure that we are ready to meet our audience where they are, especially with classical music, which, you know, even though our organization takes pride in reaching a slightly younger demographic than the gray hairs that are typically associated with the classical canon, it's still an older audience base, and people are more skittish about being in large events with large audiences. So we're trying to find some balance and keep communication lines open and keep the money coming in and keep our musicians employed with some virtual events, and basically just in winging it mode.
Jen, I understand the virtual event part. Do you have any designs on doing something in person in some creative, socially distanced way?
We do, not really. Our online stuff will be in our musicians' homes, so there'll be smaller performances. But you know, there's the issue of exposing musicians to each other. Yeah. Singing, talking, playing instruments. Yeah. Produces aerosols, and you know, it's hard to do when you're 6 feet apart. So we're really kind of just playing it by ear, and we'll be virtual in the fall, and hopefully back in the concert hall in the spring.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Okay, good update. We're thinking about you and all that you're trying to put together.
Yeah, it's hard, but I'm fortunate that most of my donors and my board are very generous and very keen on keeping the lights on and
Yeah.
my income fresh and finding compensated opportunities for our musicians,
Yeah.
even if they're digital.
Yep. Good. I'm glad to hear that. There must be a lot of competition for that out there now, which is the segue right to Kate. Kate, how are you? How are you doing? And personally, but also how's CCM doing?
CCM is doing pretty well. It's as you know, the neighborhood over there is quiet, but we shifted everybody online in 2 days, and all the private students except for a couple. So there's 320 plus students that are online for private lessons, and then most of the group classes went online. It's much harder for the ensembles to be online, and so those haven't been up. But you know, my goal the whole time is to, as Jennifer said, is to make sure that our faculty are employed because as teaching artists, they've lost, a lot of them, half their income because all of their performances were canceled, and we've become their only source of earnings. And so we want to keep them employed. The good news for us is that they can't travel and perform this summer, so they're all around to teach private lessons. And so we have a really robust summer lesson program starting online for, you know, they're just continuing their private lessons online, larger than we've ever had before. And we're also have put up a number of online summer camps, which we've never done before. And so there's a lot of opportunities from beginners to learn, you know, do a jump start for group keyboard, or to use GarageBand as a composition tool, but using it from the music end of things, looking at different genres and learning how to use karaoke to do live performance auditions. And so there's a whole bunch of different opportunities that we're gonna see if they stick.
Yeah, that's all really good news. I miss hearing the practices come through the windows and the buildings as I walk by.
Yeah, it's very quiet in the neighborhood.
Yeah, your neighborhood is very quiet, and you know, it's like everybody else. The thing that stinks is that we still have to pay rent and everything else for for that.
So there's been no relief from the I know that's sort of a private business question, but there's been no relief from the church on that. You still have to just keep on keeping on, just like normal.
Yeah, you know, I haven't asked because they have to still pay for most of the expenses for that place anyhow, and it's not as if they would be able to then rent it to somebody else,
right?
Either. You know, do I want to pay for cleaning that hasn't been going on for 3 or 4 months?
Yeah.
No. So I'll see about getting some funds back on that. But you know, the big question with everybody else is whether or not we'll be able to go back in the building in the fall. And it makes for planning. Plan A to go back. Plan B is what can we do if we got to go back, but then have to shift online, and what can live online again.
Right. Well, and this is a perfect pilot, right? The summer. So that good pilot program for that. So that's good. Guys, I'm taking notes. So when I'm looking down, I'm not texting or looking at something else.
No, that's.
I don't want you to think I'm not listening. I'm taking notes for minutes. Margot,
I just wanted to interject there too, that Kate was talking about keeping her musicians and her faculty employed. Something that we're seeing with a lot of our musicians who we pay on a 1099 basis is that they often have a combination of W-2 and 1099 income. And so they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place in terms of unemployment insurance. They can all, you know, I have a friend who performs all around town, you know, Boston Pops, major ensembles, teaches 1 day a week, and they're eligible for $70 a week in unemployment insurance because that's their only W-2 income, and they're not eligible for any kind of artist relief because they have the W-2 income. So that it's really a really messed up system right now, and a lot of artists and musicians are really, really screwed.
Yeah.
$70 a week. What could you do with $70 a week?
Nothing. I mean, that's the problem. People are, people with, a friend of mine was interviewed on, for the PBS NewsHour about this. She said, yeah, I have a rainy day fund, but I don't have a tsunami fund. And, I and
Right.
a lot of what musicians do, you kind of have built-in diversity of your portfolio, because if any one organization goes out, you have others to fill the void. But now everything is completely off the table, and people are really suffering. So you have people with, advanced degrees and 20, 30 years experience in very, very high level work going to food pantries. It's really,
Yeah. That's
it's
one
really
of the
tough.
reasons why all of our faculty, they're all employees.
Yep.
So they can, and so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard.
Margot, I'm going to go to you last because we'll segue straight into the murals from what you talk about. So even though you're next on my sort of grid here. So Harry, just let us know how you're doing, how the company is doing, and just what's going on in your life.
Yeah, so I've been spared any like real damage, or family's healthy. Bartlett Interactive, we're lucky. We've been doing a lot of work for some COVID related clients. So it hasn't really impacted us, and so it's still really grateful. I am a part owner of the 152 Commonwealth property, and we had a call today. They have been impacted, in ways. It's just trying to get off the ground. One of the initiative with that building is that, well, there's 3 properties there, and one of which, the wood building, is now dedicated to artist spaces. They've broken it up into little spaces. So that's available now as like individual, like 10 by 15 or like 15 by 15 foot artist spaces with pretty flexible like commitments for how long you stay and all. So we're looking, kind of brainstorming how to keep that property, cash flow positive and support the artist community there, and get through it and all. But it's a little painful. Otherwise, West Concord, it's good. I can't complain.
Harry, do you literally mean a wood building, or is it called the wood building?
There's 3 buildings on that property. There's a wood building, there's a metal building, there's a brick building. So the wood building, yes.
Wood building. And have you done some rebranding? I haven't been down there in a long time, but I just parked there to do something, and the signs say, the green signs say something that was new to me, the parking signs.
Yeah, so the building, we were part of the branding and did the logo and the naming, which is Factory 152.
Right, I love it.
Yeah. That's, and we were just talking today about like stenciling that on the brick and to get more of the branding there. But yeah, we got the parking signs. They only took 9 months to get done, but Matthew, he pulled through. We got the signs. Yeah. So
the whole complex is called Factory 152, not just the one building.
Yes. Yeah. The whole property that's the name of that.
3. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Too bad one of the buildings wasn't made out of straw, and then it would be like the 3 little pigs. Anne, how are you? What's going on with the build? Probably no one's in Artscape, right?
Well, actually, we just leased 2 more spaces, and Artscape is full. The only space available is like 90 square feet. There's one tiny studio, and that's all that's available. So
But
believe
people are in there working, or
not so much. What the mill's done is kind of amazing. They've installed hand sanitizer machines at every door.
Oh wow!
And so they're trying to take that seriously. I did go there today, and the lucky thing about the mill is all the windows are operable. So it turns out, my husband's an HVAC engineer, so it turns out a lot of the problem with COVID is you get yourself in constrained spaces.
Yeah.
And then it can transmit.
Yeah, but you don't.
So, luckily, the building is designed with lots of operable windows, so we're really lucky. That's how they designed it back in 1906.
That's good. That's great.
So I can't believe it, because I was worried Artscape would collapse.
Yeah.
But it's still, there's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, you don't need to know that. And it's not clear, when we can have our next show. It's just, it's the
Are
same
you
thing.
guys planning any sort of show related to what's going on? Is there any theme?
I'm not doing anything yet.
Yeah, you're just.
I also teach at the Boston Architecture College, and all classes there are going virtual only.
Yeah. For the fall?
Yep.
They already decided?
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
Virtual only, and I taught my last 5 classes in April and May, virtual only, and that they know how to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's why they're doing it. But so it's still a pretty uncertain time.
Yep, I agree. Northeastern has taken a very different path, though. For us, we're going full on in person and virtual in the fall, so it'll be a little different.
Full on and virtual, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't say which is best. It's just uncertain. I
It
don't
is.
think anyone knows.
No, it's hard to know. We don't know. We have no point of
But I would say it's a hard time, and even seeing people though today made me feel better.
I know. People are definitely starting to move
So
around.
we meet up in parking lots. I met Peter Hewitt today in the parking lot. It was great.
Good. Susan, do you want to just say hi? And I know you're, as you said, lurking, but you want to just say hi and tell us how you're doing? And
Sure. I'm doing fine. I've been working from home since mid-March and have 2 high schoolers, one of whom has, I guess, basically graduated, and the other who's got another week and a half of his freshman year to go. So yeah, we're staying healthy, thankfully, and just trying to be active as much as possible and productive. The WCAC hasn't been meeting even virtually like this. I think we are going to meet in July because we have an application for Chase Bank wants to open a branch at the corner of Main Street and Baker Ave in West Concord. And so I think we're going to be reviewing their application. I think it sounds like they want to demolish the existing building and put a different one in. So that's my biggest update on WCAC. I think one of our members is attending a meeting tonight on the Giroux property because I believe there's been some update in the Giroux development plans. And so we might have maybe more of an update in July about that as well.
we would definitely be interested in both of those, just as a point of reference. You mean demolish the Citizens Bank building?
I guess so. Yeah. I couldn't remember exactly what's there right now.
Yeah, it's the Citizens Bank building. Okay.
Okay.
And Giroux, I hope it's good news about Giroux and not bad news.
Yeah. I mean, I think they got new plans back from the, I don't know, is it the environmental firm or whoever was going to be making that more usable for, you know, the rest of Concord. So I think we'll be discussing that in July as well.
Good, good. And Terry, I don't know if you're present, but do you want to just say hello? Terry, are you there? No? Okay.
I'm here. I'm
oh,
here.
Just wanted to
Just
say hi.
unmuting. Yes, I'm listening.
Just tell us how you are.
I'm doing okay, you know, stir crazy like everybody else. And I'm glad that you're able to meet, and I'm glad people are starting. I was in West Concord today, and stores are opening and things are happening. So cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Double crossed, toes crossed too. Okay, thanks. Miss Margot, so tell us how you are, what's going on, how things are going Village Art Room, and then we can use that to segue right into the first agenda item. We only have 3, which is what's going on with the mural, how we can support you, how we can move things along.
Okay, cool. We're doing pretty well here. I'm incredibly busy, partly because I think you all know Matt has been campaigning for the select board. He's trying to join Terry. And we'll see. It's been so long, you know, what a slog. Anyway, that's coming to an end, so that's great. And, you know, everybody's okay in the house, but a lot, you know, I won't go into it, but it's been a busy, very busy time for the family too. And then at the art room, I mean, we're not able to meet, obviously, and I missed that, but we've had tons going on anyway, including Favorite Things Art Show, which is in the window of the West Concord Pharmacy. And anybody can make something for that. I've tried to keep it as easy as possible, because something that you love, something that's helping you get by. put on an 8.5 by 11-inch sheet of paper, and we'll tape it up to the window along with the other submissions in the window there. And we've gotten some from kids and adults. It's pretty sweet. So we're doing that. That's a little thing. And then we also, we started something that I'm looking forward to getting working up again after the farm mural is a little further along, which is making, what do we call them? Feed the Spirit art and activity bags for Open Table. And we got 80 of those out to Open Table. And we hope we plan to go back to that and make that a regular thing. I mean, Open Table's always been a great thing, and there's always been need, but now more than ever, you know, families needing stuff to do with kids. So, and people have been donating supplies, and those can go into the activity bags. So that's pretty
What kind of things, Margot, are in those bags? What a great idea.
Well, the first collection that we put together had, you know, so what we're trying to do is have, like, we have instructions for an activity. We're thinking more than anything about parents who are home with their kids and probably pretty overwhelmed and just want a really easy arts and crafts thing to, like, be able to do. So we have the instructions, and then we have the supplies just about, except maybe scissors, and, you know, we're trying to put all the supplies in there. And the last one had little containers of paint and a couple of brushes and some colored pencils, paper, different things. But anyway, we have more plans for that. But I mean, part of the challenge, of course, is I can't have people coming in to help me do it.
Yeah.
I can't have very many, you know. So I've got and I bring in my sister-in-law. That's one of my sister-in-law's living with us, and she's been great. And, you know, we have each other's cooties, so she can do it with me. That's good. But I don't know. I'm sort of struggling with, because people think this is really wonderful, and some people have offered to help, but I haven't figured out how they can help. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, they give me supplies and money, and so supplies and money, we take them. So we'll get back to that. And then, oh, I know, we're doing plein air once a week, every Friday afternoon. It's just a community thing. So it's free, it's informal, and anybody associated with the Village Art Room is invited to come and do plein air. We've been going just to the North Bridge in June, and I love that. That's like the highlight of my week, is just to go do plein air.
I don't know what that is, Margot.
Oh, well, to go outside, to paint and draw outside. So I call it the art room goes at the art room outside, or outside the art room. Yeah.
I love it.
So I feel, you know, I just feel, I don't know, it's funny in some ways. I mean, I feel the pain that's going on, and I worry for so many people, but I'm so aware of my own blessings and
Blessings, yeah.
in a way, I feel better than ever, because I'm like, wow, I've got a house and I can go outside, and yeah. And you can do art 6 feet apart, more with other people, more easily than you can play music. So,
Yes, that's right. I'm sure.
yeah. So that's kind of everything else except for the mural.
Okay, mural.
So the mural, thank God Art Week got canceled as far as the mural goes. That was going to kill me to get it done by then. So it's been getting drawn out very slowly, but it's looking fantastic. And we have basically, there are 299 tiles, so we have approximately 100 tiles done, 100 tiles out in the community, and 100 tiles that still need to be claimed and painted. And if I can figure it out, I was going to share the screen. And
Jeremy, can you give her
Share
permission to share the screen, Jeremy?
Yeah, she should be able to. I think.
Choose virtual video settings. I think I go to.
So
No,
at least on my
share
own.
screen.
Okay, let's see if I can make this work.
Right
At
in the
the
middle.
And
very bottom at the center, there's something that says share screen. And if you click
yes,
that, then you can, it'll pop up.
I'm clicking on it
Hmm.
and it doesn't. Am I doing something wrong? I'm clicking on share screen. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong part of the box, maybe?
Just click right in the middle on the arrow and you,
No, it's not
Going
doing
to?
anything.
if you
Enter.
want to send something to me, I can, because I just did it and I can see my desktop, so.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know why, but it's not. Oh dear.
Sometimes the host has to give permission for the other people to share.
I think Jeremy just did though.
I'm looking right now and there's no option I see for me to give permission. I don't think I usually have had to do that before.
Kirby, I think if you change hosts, she can do it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to make you the host.
Make her the host and she can do
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
All right, you are now host, Margot, it says.
So now I should be able to, when I click on virtual background.
No, not virtual background, you're doing share
Oh,
screen.
I mean share screen. I'm sorry. I mean, that's what I've been doing is share screen. Maybe something else is
You
going.
have pop-ups blocks or something on your computer.
Share screen, and then your desktop will come up and you pick what you want to share.
Yeah, and I've done that before.
Okay,
And video settings,
all right.
share screen.
Margot,
And
if you want to
full
send it to me
screen
on email, are you going to send, you want to show the mural?
Yeah, I really wanted to show you guys the
Well,
mural.
Send it to me on email and I'll just do it.
Okay.
I'm happy to do that. Because I can easily share screen, I can
You know,
tell.
why does it? Maybe somebody else should go while I do that.
Okay. Well, while she's doing that, I'll just tell you that I saw, Lisa isn't on the call, but I saw her down, I'm right on the same street as the Performing Arts Center and I'm pointing to it. And she said that they are fine. They used this opportunity they had to replace the roof and needed to replace the roof. And it was going to be, sort of a big mess to do that with the parking lot. But so they did it probably 2 years before they had to, but because the parking lot was empty, that was great. And I think they're good through the summer. I mean, there's a lot of broken hearts because kids didn't get to do their performances, but she said they're fine throughout the summer. And things will start to get a little tricky for them in the fall if they can't open, but she said I think she pretty much said she can go to her benefactor and ask for some help. So she's not worried, which is really good because, I didn't know what to think about it if it, they had just bought this expensive property and they didn't really get to have the sort of opening that they wanted to. But so that's the update on that. Margot, did you send it to me via email? No, you're on mute now. Poor Margot. Margot, you're on mute, so I can't hear you.
Lower left, Margot. The microphone is.
There you go.
Okay, it says the file's too big.
Okay.
Maybe that's why. No, that's not why it didn't do screen share. It just wouldn't. Well, I don't know.
All
Well,
right.
I could just tell you about it.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Okay. So well, as I said, the 299 tiles, about 100 out, 100 back, 100 ready to go. And what else can I tell you about? It's coming out great. I mean, it's really beautiful. You can see a lot of it on our website. We've posted a lot of photos, both of the images that are coming back. I mean, the mural itself, although we're not showing most people the whole mural with this hope of, creating some anticipation. And
Margot, talk to us a little bit about what your thoughts are for placement of the first mural and now the second.
Maybe I could at least send you that, Carlene, because I have one of the things I wanted to show you guys. Okay, let's see if that goes to you. There is one person. God, I hope this works. I took a photo of where I'm hoping it's going to go, which is the side of the West Concord Pharmacy building. And the plaza, I think I described that at one point, facing the little depot square. And there's this brick wall. And Carlene,
The side of the 7-Eleven, you mean?
By the 7-Eleven. So one of the things I wanted to share was an image of what it would look like if it was up there. You know, I just photoshopped the thing on the wall. And if it comes to Carlene and she can.
I'm looking for it, but I'm not seeing it. But I think I saw a version of that at some point. So if I don't receive it, maybe I can go trolling through my email.
I mean, I made a version of the other mural.
Oh.
What it would look like on the side of Reason to Be Cheerful, but you won't have seen this one yet. I don't know. I seem to be failing in my technology.
That's okay. Maybe after this, I can create some sort of, we do have a Google Drive that Harry created, and we can put some of this stuff in there because these files are probably too big for you to be sending around email.
Well, yeah, some of them. I mean, that's something that
I don't know if that's okay.
I can make a Google Drive file to share them. I could share my Google Drive file with everybody. I mean, I think you can all access that if I put your name on it.
Yeah.
But anyway, for now.
Not permission from 7-Eleven though yet, right?
No, right. It's not 7-Eleven. So the Carr family owns that building.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I might have gone over this in a previous meeting that I approached them about it quite a long time ago, and they were initially excited about it and then said they didn't want to do it. And they didn't really have a clear reason. And I have been talking to the other, people who rent spaces in that building, the owners of spaces in there, and everybody there is quite enthusiastic about it. So I think if the people who, if they're, what do you call it, the tenants of that building are behind it, I think we might be able to persuade them. Because otherwise, I haven't really found any other place in town that's really gets me excited for putting it up.
Yeah.
If anybody has a suggestion, that'd be great. But I haven't given up on that. Then the other, what else can I say? I mean, it's taken so long, and people, raising money for it has been really hard, and I'm not that good at it and don't have a lot of time, so I haven't honestly done a lot other than when people do tiles, they've been really generous about also making a contribution to Art for All. So I have gotten a fair amount of money through contributions by the people who are doing the tiles.
Margot, I have failed you. I realized I was going to draft a letter for you to Welch's, and it had completely slipped my sieve of a mind. So I need to do that because I do think Welch's, figures prominently into your.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, yeah.
So I think, and I don't know if anyone has any advice or any ins with Welch's. I don't know if an unsolicited letter going straight to their philanthropic arm will work, but it feels like that should be like a no-brainer, slam dunk, whatever cliche, to get some money, because it's in their backyard. It's something I'm sure they'd want to support, community art, and it's also the image of the grape.
I know. But yeah, and I did make a point of putting them in there pretty prominently.
I'm sorry that I said I would do that and I just forgot. So I will add it to my list of things that I need to do.
Carlene, I'm sure you haven't had anything else to do, so I don't know why you'd have.
You might want to, I can't remember, so Welch's is in just grapes are there, where there's not doesn't say their name or anything, right?
Oh, their name's not in it, but they're, not only are there, the grapes on the right, but what's his name? Now I'm not thinking of the name. The guy who developed the Concord grape.
Yeah.
Is he's in it.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I had the image to be able
That
to
guy in the cemetery who has like that grudge
Ephraim Bull.
gravestone. Yeah.
Ephraim Bull
Yeah.
is in it. You know, holding grapes up.
Yeah.
Very, very charming, very
Yeah.
adorable.
I will step up and do better with that. And then how can we help you try to get support from the people in that, I know I'm not supposed to say strip mall, whatever that is, the shopping center.
Yeah, I'd say that is, well, the two things that I would love help, well, there's three things. One is, of course, doing tiles or encouraging people to do tiles, because we've still got 100 to go. Or in the case of Jennifer Montback, getting your tiles back. And Susan, did you have tiles, Susan?
So yeah, the four of us here in our family did tiles, and we're happy to do another round of four. And I'll put a blast out on our next door sort of site here, just because I know the kids are going to be done with school pretty soon, and I do feel like some tiles are quite suitable for younger kids to do, while other ones are more complicated for adults. But I thought it was a really fun project.
Yeah, I find that I'd say the tiles that are left it's getting a little harder overall. Okay. So it's there is the occasional sort of kid under the age of 12 who can do it and does a pretty good job, but overall I think it probably most of them need to be done by like teens and adults.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I'll help you. We can all help you, Margot. So that's one, tiles. What's number two you can help with?
So the other, let me see, tiles, what else was it? Oh yeah, help with, I mean, if anybody knows anybody who knows the cars or wants to figure that out, or has a thought of a different place to put it, there's that. And then an event. So where, you know, it'd be, well, and you know, there's still the mural from the other year. Like we still have not put up the other mural, and there is and that's just waiting to go up on the side of Reasons to Be Cheerful.
Yeah. And
you know, the funny thing is, for a while I was pressing for that to just get done and get put up, because I thought that would that might persuade the cars, like that's so nice, you know, to like, I want a mural too kind of thing. But then, I mean, certainly it felt for a while like it was just like to have a celebration. Just
I agree.
Like, who wants to celebrate?
No,
but then again, I mean, at this point, I feel now like, yeah, it'd be great. It'd be nice. It would cheer people up. It'd be good to get it up. So I don't know. Does it all happen? Do we just have one event where they? Well, but they're in different places, so I'm not really sure what to do with all of that. And then, what's their name? Middlesex Bank is the only, I mean, other than, you know, people who gave individual amounts, Middlesex Bank is the only real sponsor, if you like, of that mural. And there needs to be a plaque on the side of the building for them. I'm not really sure what that looks like. I don't know if anybody wants to help me figure out that. Like, what do you say about these things? What do you say about each? I don't know. What do you say about the mural that's appropriate to go on the side of the building?
Do you have something that you wrote when you wrote these things up for the art week or something like that?
Yeah, I got lots of stuff that I've written. Is it appropriate to have like 2 or 3 sentences about it, about describing what it is and who was involved? And maybe I should write some things up and pass them by people.
And I can help you with the plaque. And I know we can probably, we can take the money for that out of our, you know, the sort of communications budget that we have, you know, with the planning board, with the planning division. You know, we have money that we can access. Margot, I just sent a request of permission that you gave me access to something that I can show, but I need permission. So I just sent that to email. All right, so let's get the wording together for the plaque so that we can show the group. Let's get that letter written to, I'll help you draft the letter to Welch's. And then the other thing, the cars, I don't know about that. I'll have to think about that, how to reach those people. And then also let's think about how we're going to reveal these murals. We don't have to make that decision this minute, but that's something that we really do need to, we need to complete that process and figure out how we're going to locate those somewhere, because they were an important part of our life over the last couple of years, right, everybody?
Yes.
So we got to figure that out.
Did that come through for you, Carlene? I just sent the permission.
Not yet, but when it does, I will click on it and then let me try again if I can get in. And yes, all right, guys, let me share my screen and I will show you what Margot
Gosh,
talked
the
about.
anticipation.
There it is. Do you see it? Do you all see the mural?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
That would be gorgeous. Here's the
I love
guy.
it.
Here's the guy
There's
she's
him.
talking about. Yep.
Yep,
And then this is the little girl from Marshall Farm.
that's Emma Marshall.
Yeah.
So and Margot has talked about this before, but this is a combination of painting and actual real, like decoupage, like real images. So this isn't a painting of that little girl. It's the actual.
Painting and photos. Yep.
Who's this, Margot?
That is Sarah. I don't know her last name. She's an associate for the way. So Lise is next to her. Lise Holdorf is one of the main runners, people who operate Barrett's Mill Farm. And she told me that that is Sarah, who is an associate farmer.
Okay.
And then holding, yeah, standing up with a straw hat. Oh, that's Lise Holdorf. And
Here? Okay.
yeah, from Barrett's Mill Farm.
Okay.
And then you were pointing to Steve Verrill. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Oh, well, we should hit Beryl up too then.
Oh, I
Yeah.
already did. No,
We did.
no, nothing from there. And then that's one of the artists. That's Mike Sprague as a boy. I just put an artist in.
Whoa, that's great.
So is the idea so is the idea to have a plaque explaining what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I want to have, and I don't know, so, okay, well, do you see to the left, you can see that I have 2 blank spaces on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
to
Oh,
show
here and here?
up above, right. So, there are different things that we can do there. This is all, Matt, if we get permission for it all, we could have a key that shows you who did each individual square, just people's names who did the squares. I'd also like to do what do you call it? Like an outline of the whole painting and do sort of a number thing.
Yeah.
Explain what's what, yeah.
Mhm.
And then I imagine parents coming with their kids, wouldn't it be fun to say, can you find how many chickens are there, or can you find the cat, or or do you know who this person is, like identify. That'd be fun.
This is so beautiful. It's so exquisite, Margot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great, Margot.
It's really, really terrific.
Thank you.
I love it.
And then, what you're looking at is the file. I mean, this doesn't actually exist anywhere except on my computer.
Yes, no, I know.
And the one that you'll see, and I wanted to share it with you, but I don't seem to be able to, is the tiles that are coming in. It's going to be kind of wild if this is a mosaic. It's really fun.
Yeah, but it's really great because because there are benches in the little park next to it, and right now they focus on the blankness.
Yeah.
They face the blankness.
Yeah.
And you're putting in people which were hardwired to see. And then plus the 7-Eleven is just like, generic, but we're making it personal.
I know it.
So it's really perfect. It's
right.
it's like the Band-Aid. Well, it's more than the Band-Aid, but you get what I'm saying? It's healing.
So well said, Anne.
So
what we should do is take that picture and take it over to those folks and show
Yeah.
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 That's a really good idea. It's so healing, and it makes it feel like it's real. It's West Concord.
Let's go on a traveling road show.
here's my idea was to take the image and then share that. Again, I think the cars really care about the people who rent spaces from them. The people, probably particularly the people running the pharmacy. which they started the pharmacy. They used to run the pharmacy.
Mm.
So I think if I take this image of what it could look like and then get those people kind of behind it, and then I can approach the cars again and say, you know, there's a lot of support for it. So that's
The other thing it's going to do is it's going to increase the pharmacy's business.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you won't be looking at blankness, you'll be looking at people waiting for you. Implicitly, people will walk towards it more.
Yeah. Well, and you know, we do have the Favorite Things art show in the window of the pharmacy.
No.
So, I don't know. I hope that brings people
And that
in.
whole section down there is going to be so enlivened and already is with the rail trail. You know, there's so many people, there's so much going on. It's just going to add to all of that. You know, maybe Brookside is another place that, you know, you could put some, because it's right. Yeah, I don't know how they'll feel about it, but it's.
Yeah, I haven't seen, I've looked, I mean, I wander around and I'm always thinking about that. I don't really see a wall on Brookside that lends itself to it. I don't know. It hasn't occurred to me. But could I don't want to take up any more time. We have other things to go over. I just want to throw out one idea about going forward past the farm mural. I want to keep doing the arts and crafts activity bags because I think that's going to continue to be a big need in around here. If I do another mural or whatever else I do, I'd like to do something that brings in communities of color and communities outside of us to, you know, I'd like to do something that addresses a lot, you know, the social issues on COVID that our country is dealing with. And, I mean, I've already had some ideas actually about wanting to work with a group in Cambridge. In fact, I'd had a little bit of some discussion with this group in Cambridge called the Cambridge Community Arts Center or Cambridge Arts Center. Can't remember exactly. Anyway, I love this. This place is really great. And they work with a population, a very a diverse population in East Cambridge. And then there's, you know, if we did anything on the trail, I think it could be interesting to bring in Lowell, you know, people in Lowell to do something with us and try to, anyway, you guys see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of desire for that. And once things clear up and we're actually able to gather, then those, I think we should definitely plan something along those lines.
I don't think it even has to be, you don't even have to gather. I mean, the mural is working great. People, I mean, we can do things virtually. People could do art out there. We can combine things. But
do you want to put together some sort of proposal so that we know what you're thinking of, and then we can figure out how?
Yeah, I would like to. I would, and if anybody has some ideas for me, let me know. It's just, I just wanted to, I hated to not say anything about that. I mean, in our meeting. Yeah, I don't have any definite
ideas yet. Yeah, well, I can wander over to your house and stand in your front yard and we can do some brainstorming too.
We can. I'd like that.
Okay. All right. All good updates. Let's move on to Porch Fest. Jen, we saw your amazing new mural. I love it. Did you go?
Oh, thank you.
Logo.
Thank you. I had fun with it. I wanted to evoke the kind of Woodstock look, but also give it a more contemporary feeling.
Can you share it? Jen, or shall I?
Excuse me?
Can you share it right now? So we can
sure.
Shall I? Yeah.
Yeah. Take one moment.
You know, they canceled the marathon. You know that we were worried about the marathon that weekend, everybody, for Porch Fest, and they all out canceled it now. So
yeah, so that's, I mean, that's part of what worries me.
I know.
Wait, the marathon had been moved to?
It's been rescheduled to September, that Monday. September 12th.
Content. Website URL.
It does seem to me that Porch Fest is safer than the marathon.
I hope so, Margot.
I mean, as
Jenny?
popular as it was last year and will be, it's not quite as popular as the marathon.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this. It's not,
Let me help you. Um, Let me help
here.
you.
It doesn't like to share to a website. It wants to share to like a specific file.
Which
So
I have opened on my screen. So let me
Yeah.
get to it. And I just have to find Zoom. Let me get to it.
No, I got it here.
Oh,
I got it.
okay.
All right, can everyone see this?
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable. I love it.
Thanks. I purchased some art from a royalty-free site. I did change it a little bit. You guys, just sort of apropos of the conversation we were just having about sort of what's going on in the wider world right now, this image originally had very Caucasian white fingers on the guitar. And I thought, what color should they be? And then I had this epiphany that they should be Simpsons yellow. So I went and found the the yellow skin tone of the Simpsons. Yeah, so there it is. But
really
Great.
good.
Really cool.
Thanks.
It's really, really good. And having a bird with an eye is brilliant.
Yeah, it's fun. But the real question is, can we have the festival?
Right.
When is
And-
it scheduled for?
So we're scheduled for September 12th. If we were going forward with it, now would be the time that I would be aggressively recruiting bands and homes. It's 3 months from this weekend. So the real question is, do we want to put off a decision? If I had to decide today, I'd probably say no.
Yeah.
Things may improve. There may be a second wave.
I think it's too soon.
I don't know. I don't want to put a lot of work into this, not just because of my time, but all of the bands and the homes and
Can I ask something that
yeah, sure.
you might shoot down before it gets out of my mouth, but what if we do something, considering that we can't make decisions yet, what if we do a honk style festival where people walk through the streets playing their instruments and
I
no
was
one
thinking
gathers?
the same thing, Carlene. That's exactly.
Oh, well then.
Well, I mean,
marching bands like New Orleans style.
Well, I think that's great for solo artists, but I tell you, Will is in one of the bands, and they're not rehearsing right now because they don't feel safe being together. So that will work for probably.
Right. It wouldn't, all the bands that would normally have participated.
Well, it wouldn't be bands. It would be singer-songwriters. So it would work for 10% of the acts that we had last year.
Yeah. No, I understand
so-
a lot of them would be excluded, but we could put something on that brings music to people's homes. It's just a pared down or paired version, and it's just it would have to be an adaptive sort of thing. What do you
Yeah.
contemplate that?
I'm not sure, there isn't a sort of template for that. So we would be reinventing the wheel. Certainly I've been to Honk. I love Honk.
Yeah.
But people are in extremely close proximity. So, if, our friend Matt Dunkel, who rides around town, it'd be kind of like that. How he rides around on his bike playing his guitar. If you can envision multiple acts like that, we maybe would have to have some sort of pickup trucks or floats or some way for them to be able to be moving and still making music, or would they go and stop and then move on to the next site? I'm not really sure. We would have to think about how that would work, and I'm not sure I really have the energy to have two threads going at the same time. I think if we do that, then we should probably just go ahead and cancel now, because that's going to involve a certain amount of work that doesn't really overlap with having the Porch Fest as we've currently envisioned it.
But my sense is, I don't mean to be negative, but watching what's happening in academia and watching the uncertainty, I don't think as a as a West Concord Junction Cultural District Committee, we can get behind it. There's just too much uncertainty. We can't be bringing people together in groups. We can't be telling to musicians to meet on your porch.
No, I
That's not what I was suggesting.
But I just don't think we can do it, and it's just too soon because September, it's just too soon in early September.
You're voting for we should just not plan to have.
I don't think you can because we don't want to risk anybody's health. We don't want to risk any citizens' health. We don't want to risk any musicians' health. And when watching what the schools are doing in Boston, we just can't do it.
I'm kind of on the same page with Anne, I have to say. I did send an email today to Susan Rask at the health department to see, this may not even be a decision that we are empowered to make. This may be up to the Concord Health Department. But we did have 1,000 people last year with the, what did we spend on publicity? $100. So, you know, I think they're going to be disinclined towards having thousands of people out. So the question is, do we want to have a sort of reverse Porch Fest where you sit on your porch and wait for the music to come to you? Will we be able to find enough artists willing to do that? And do we have the bandwidth to coordinate the logistics involved, which will be completely different than what we've done so far? Sorry, my screen went out for a second. Can you all see me or hear me?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, you know, Jen, it feels like, you know, I don't want you to think of it's lip service, but I do wonder if there's some very scaled back version. It's almost like, forgive me for invoking a religious thing, but it's almost like caroling. The idea of people traveling, you know, from house to house, down the street. And
That's the last thing we want to do. That's the last thing. Listen to
let me just
but also those are individuals. A caroling implies that there's a group of people singing together, and
yeah.
Almost everybody who participated in Porch Fest last year was part of an ensemble.
Yeah, it would have to be, you know, one or two or three people that could, you know, you could spread 3 people out in front of a house.
But then we have to look at generators for amplification because they won't be able to plug in anywhere.
Yeah, no, it would have to be all acoustic. It wouldn't be any of that. It would just be people singing or playing their instruments, and you know, it would just be sort of a traveling road show of people. We'd have to have a map, and we'd have to send people around. I'm loath to give up, you know, everything on every level, and I wonder if we can innovate in some very scaled back way.
Well, you could do it virtually.
Yeah, that's just gonna say we would virtually. Maybe you could do that.
We do a Zoom Porch Fest, and actually Art Space in Maynard, they've been having these Zoom shows with 50 people on it. Artists.
Yeah. Don't forget though, you still come to the issue that the performers are not being with one another, never mind with an audience.
Yeah.
I don't mean to poo-poo every idea, but you know, just using my own family as the example, you know, we're not going to rehearsal right now. And we're not doing shows. Every Porch Fest that was scheduled for this summer has been canceled.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that reinventing the wheel is really the best use of our time. I don't think it's going to be this.
No. I think it's too soon into the fall to be able to host this. It's just.
I think you're right, Kate.
Yeah, I think we should get everybody excited about 2021. Or maybe this gives us the opportunity to shift to a spring date.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So is that, so we're officially, so that's it. We're officially calling quits today. Jen, you don't want to?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm up to kind of kick the can down the road a little bit, but my gut says it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't want to waste people's time.
Yeah.
Planning for something that's not going to happen.
Okay.
And I'm hearing consensus here. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone hasn't spoken up and really feels that we should try to make this happen.
No, I think it just sounds like what you're saying makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could I?
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
It's not your fault.
No, I know.
Yeah. I know.
Having watched every thing that I have planned, my personal and professional life just kind of slip away one by one, all spring and all summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this is not over. I think people are clear where we are in this, and
We're losing you, Jen.
just.
We're losing
Oh,
you.
sorry. I stepped outside
Yes.
where the
It's
light
not
is
a-
better. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm going
can.
closer to the router. I was just saying that's you know, basically we've gotten to a point where there's enough beds in the ICU to accommodate everyone, but we're not at the point yet where people are safe. Until we have a vaccine, I don't think people are going to want to be in large groups,
Okay.
especially for things that are, you know, non-essential.
Right,
And I know everyone in
No, I
this
really-
committee
I really
believes that art is deeply essential, but you know what I mean?
I really hear you, Jen, and I think what's happening is we're shaping a new normal, and we're not quite
Mhm.
sure what that normal is going to be. And it's
Yeah.
not going to be exactly like it was 3 months ago.
No.
Could I revisit the murals? Because I'm realizing we didn't cover when would be a good time to present them to the public.
We didn't come up with an idea for that because we just don't, I think for the same reason, we just don't.
Because I mean that doesn't have to be such a. It'd be nice to have them up on the wall.
You know, I think you could write an article or send it in. I bet the Concord Journal would love it.
The Concord Journal is so small now. It's like,
Yeah, but still, it's a
Yeah.
picture, it's an idea we can get out. Send it.
Wait, but what about just getting them up on the wall so people get to see them and enjoy them? Maybe we don't even have a big event around putting them up. They just appear. I don't know. I mean, appear, and obviously, I mean, yeah, I would involve the Concord Journal, and we'd want to do some social media, but we could just get them up, say, I don't know, at the end of August.
Oh, I think we should get them up by the end of the summer. I didn't know if you were talking like by the end of June. Yeah.
Oh,
I-
no. Oh my God, I'm not gonna be
I
ready
think we
for
should
the
plan.
formula, but sometime in August?
Yeah, I think
Early
that would
August.
be a great idea.
Okay, and we won't plan it, you know, it
Summer.
doesn't have to be a big event.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, it would be nice to get the journal
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
and
there.
And maybe we think about sort of something performing arts connected to that unveiling that we could put together a little quicker. You know, if we do an event in the fall, say, and things have been pretty mellow, and, you know, we can put together 3 acts like we did for Discover West Concord Day. You know, maybe we can figure out a way to involve some local musicians, you know, if things have gotten a little bit more reasonable by then.
Yep. I would love to contemplate that. So let's keep that on the table and see if we can move that agenda item forward. And you're right, Jen. We did that in essentially 6 weeks for Discover West.
Not even, yeah. And I know that's something that we could pull together faster.
Yeah.
That is not gonna
That's great.
become a, you know, part-time job for me the way Porch Fest is.
And that could be August, or it could be that same weekend we had planned, you know, September 12th. 13th.
Exactly.
So let's keep thinking about that, Margot. We've got time, but I like the idea of combining a much more scaled down something to celebrate the the placement of the murals. Feels like they shouldn't just appear in the middle of the night. You know, I mean, we could do Banksy style stuff, but I think that the idea is to let people know who were involved, not us. I mean, the community.
Yeah. The painters.
I'm mindful of the time, and I'm mindful of what it's like to be on Zoom for too long, but I don't want to leave without talking to Harry a little bit about, you know, ideas for logos. I've been sending information to Beth Williams about local businesses that feed me information about what they're doing, local businesses in arts related ventures for the website. but there's really no great leaps and bounds on the website, yet. Everything, as you know, has stalled. But Harry, any thoughts about logos or anything you want to share? Any prototypes you want to show us? What?
Yeah, yeah.
Thinking?
Yeah, well, we met, we've had a little, Barsha showed some stuff from Concord Center, and so I gave it some thought, and let's see if I can share my screen here, and let's see here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so, and I know we could get into more, Kate, we were talking about process. I'm just thinking kind of like how I could just move this along, or just see if an idea here would fly, because there was some, concept for a cultural district branding for Concord Center, and then that was possibly going to be used for West Concord, and was like, well, Concord Center and West Concord are pretty different, so this is what Marcia had shown, and so I thought, well, maybe if we did something that was
That's much better.
Arthur Wheeler oriented. This is not Arthur Wheeler, but it's a clock tower,
That's much better.
and so the idea here is to have something, have a pretty large mark, and there's some variations here with solid, and then circular. So just played around with it, thinking, Harvey Wheeler does sort of tower, no pun intended, above the cultural district. It's probably the most architecturally, culturally interesting in West Concord. And if we, thought that was worth it, we could get that illustrated and, work with that as part of the mark.
I am
Let me tell
loving
you,
it.
can I say something, Harry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great, and it's so much better than Concord, what they had, because the human brain, I teach this, right, is hardwired to look for faces all the time and to bond to them. And so it essentially suggests a face.
Mm-hmm.
Part of your brain is going to think it's looking at you. Whereas the leaf figure doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So you'll make a memory of this, your brain, because it will look longer at this without you realizing it, will more likely make a memory of this than it will make of the leaf.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it, Harry. And it's the, other than that, and the church steeple, it's the most defining, well, we have a few, right? We also have the smokestack over here, but I think it's the most defined, with that lit up clock, the most defining feature. And you just captured that so beautifully.
I think it's great, Harry. It's great.
Wait, I have a question. Is there a clock in that position?
No.
No, it's this is I tried to get an actual picture of Harvey Wheeler, and I think that's the kind of next steps. If there's some momentum behind this, is to get a good illustration, because this is a different clock tower.
This is a quick and dirty mock-up. Yeah.
Actually,
okay. Okay. As long as it doesn't have that clock on it, I think it's a great idea.
No, and I did not draw this. This is I went your book, Jen, here, and I just clipped this out, and and it's we would need to get this illustrated, and I think it would be worth it, to get a decent illustrator who, maybe I can do it. I don't know. It's pretty, and maybe Margot, drawing wise, and all of your Spain and Italy, because there is kind of a European aspect to
Giving Maki at the Mill specializes in classical architecture. He could draw it.
Oh yeah.
I really like it. I like it better than the leaves. The leaves kind of evoked kind of a Native American look, which while it is very pretty, it's not really consistent with who we are. And I think this is really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I have another question though. So it says West Concord Cultural District. There's the junction. You would leave the word junction out?
No, we'd have to put the junction in
You
there.
have to put junction in.
Yeah.
But that's, we would have that put in there.
Yeah, that's like,
So
why?
Neater without it, but we need the junction.
Yeah, junction function.
No.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had played around with the typography that much, but thinking something simple, and then also how can be like this type of branding really seems like a lot of applications will be kind of sticker oriented. Like if you have something in a store window, like
Yeah.
behind glass, like something that's got that sort of solid. It's not going to be used on letterhead very much. It'll be used like on actual retail and environmental type of graphics. So
Not only that, we could use it on our map because like the districts in Arlington, they have a map. So it's just a logo for immediately giving us identity. So we could have a West Concord business map, a West Concord artist studio map. We could have this on it. It'd be great.
Brand.
Yeah.
I asked, by the way, today of one of the members of the local cultural council who gave us a grant for our map. It was supposed
Oh,
to be
that's awesome.
it was supposed to be spent by June 30. And I told her there's just no way, there's just nothing, there's no meetings that can happen. There's nothing that's been going on. And she said that she'll talk to the committee, but they'll most assuredly push all of those deadlines back another 6 months. So we have time to get that put together, and that should give us enough time to finalize and formalize this, Harry.
Great job. Great job, guys.
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
That's really exciting.
So Harry, what is the next step?
Well, we need to get this illustrated. We need to get Harvey Wheeler illustrated. I've been looking at different angles and kind of where the sun, it looks like it's more Main Street. You'd want to get, because that's where more south facing. And I could get a photo, though I don't actually really have a zoom lens at the moment. But I think, Anne, if you know someone who's,
there are a lot of good photographers at the mill as well. If you
well,
want-
it's more of like, like you're saying, an architectural, illustrator.
I can send you 3 links if you want to photographers who are fantastic, including Pitch Black. And I can also send you another photographer who is at the mill, and I can also send you artists. But you don't have to pick them.
But do we have money for this?
I think we have to, this is the key thing. This is just clipped from online. We have to get this illustrated, and I could take a shot at it from a photo and see how it comes out, to like redraw this based on a photo. But we might need to commission that if there's some budget to get an illustrator to really do, because that's what this whole thing is the quality of that illustration.
So Harry, the first thing do you need a shot of the tower from all sort of angles around, like a close-up shot?
Well, it's really, I mean, I think I can get that. I've just been scoping out what the best angle. So I think I could get that. So in the photography, I can do. It's more like then taking that. But, a good illustrator may not even want to work from a photo. Might want to just go and work, directly.
Okay. And are you saying that you will try to do it yourself first, or should we look for an illustrator for what is the action item?
I think I think it would really benefit from having an illustrator. Frankly.
I think if I had a good photograph, it would be pretty easy to pull that together. I could do that.
Yeah, if you want it, like I can.
Hi, Marco.
I can get the photo, and I can share that with you. We could go over it once to and see.
I mean, if there's a small donation to Art for All in it, that's cool. But
We will.
So why
I
don't
will
we
personally donate to Art for All.
okay.
We'll take a pass at it.
To
And
move this ahead.
come up with something like this.
I'm sure you guys can do it. I'm sure you guys could do it.
I think it'd be fun. I mean, honestly, it would be fun for me. I just need some good photos to look at. I'd enjoy doing it.
Okay, cool. And so I'll get those to you. I'll shoot something, and I have a little bit. I think it's gonna get the other angle from the south side, because it's the shadowing, which is the key part, is to get it where the shadows are gonna hit right. Maybe you can just make that up too.
I'm excited. Things are moving along even while everything else is paralyzed.
Yeah.
So good. Good. Okay.
Carlene, you
Yeah.
didn't give us an update about yourself.
Oh, all is well. I finished the semester, and Harry, can you stop sharing so I can
Yes.
just show you guys my my beautiful website? I presented finished my Panama, where is it? My Panama presentation, which was not easy. Getting the kids to do everything that they needed to do in the wake of their pandemic. But we did it. We finished and published, and I think it's beautiful. You see, no, that is my email.
Oh, nice.
See that?
Wow.
And so that all changes, and then there's the project. There's me in the back seat. Can you see what I'm showing you?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's going by 4x4s in 4x4s over a river to get to a rainforest, and then produced 16 packages, articles, web podcasts, half-hour videos. Look at that jaguar. Of stuff all around Panama, and it was a slog, but it was a great joy and a great triumph for us. And otherwise, I'm just trying to deal with my children. I have a senior who lost a lot because no prom, no graduation, all of that, and a 10-year-old who gives me a run for my money. But other than that, and not other than that, in addition to that, all is well. So thank you. Thank you for asking, Margot. Oh, and my husband is doing this really cool Instagram live thing on every Tuesday and Friday at 2:00 with celebrities on Washington Post Instagram Live. It's a wild ride. So if anyone wants to tune in, today was Steve Earle. I don't know if you guys know who.
Cool.
Yeah, all sorts of. And yesterday or Friday was Annie Lennox. Remember Annie Lennox?
Love
Yeah.
Annie Lennox.
Oh, love her. Dan Rather's next week. So all sorts of cool people on that. So thank you for asking. Guys, I'm just so happy to see you and to be together again, even in this way. Now, Jeremy, who's probably fallen asleep, told me at the start of this, while we were waiting for you to all get on, that most committees are just sort of doing one of these. And most committees actually haven't met. And if they are, they're only going to meet once. I am not averse to meeting again. I don't want to invade your personal space and your personal time. But I think, Jeremy, are you up for it? Can we meet again over the summer if we want to?
Of course, yeah. Really, it's kind of, as the chair, your right to call a meeting whenever you feel like you want to do it. So definitely.
So what do you think? What is your thought? I love this sort of touch base thing, and we have the logo to talk about, and the possibility of an event in September, the murals. What do you want to do, you all?
I'd like to meet. I have plenty going on to touch base on.
Sure.
How about later in July?
Do you want to meet the second week of July? The second week of July, because the first week is the holiday week, July 4th holiday week. You want to meet the second week of July, Tuesday night at 7, same sort of thing?
I don't know. Got to check my calendar. I'm awfully busy this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Marcia was rightfully so. She was not thrilled that I set up a meeting without checking with her schedule first. I think she's having a lot of meetings, and she wants to be with us. So I don't know what her schedule is, but why don't I make sure she can be at the next one, and then I'll float the date to you all, and we'll figure it out from there, because I certainly don't want to exclude Marcia.
Yeah.
We need her, and we want her to be invested. But I'm just so grateful we were all here, and we'll just keep plugging along. And Margot, thank you for sort of continuing on in the spirit of the cultural district in the way that you have with the open table stuff and everything. And I will wander over, and we can talk about some of these action items together.
Okay.
And I will get our tiles done.
It's all right.
I think that you guys have plenty going on with the mural and the possible rescheduling the Porch Fest and the logo. And I think it's great that you want to keep meeting.
Thank you, Terry.
No problem with that.
Thank you, Terry. That's really great. This is a lovely, active, supportive group. So
Yes.
we're so lucky to have each other.
Last word.
Last word.
If you didn't vote in by mail, vote on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the high school.
I've already voted.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I think we got ours in mail, and I don't think I actually voted, so I'll have to go in on Thursday. All right, you all, thank you so much. 8:22, I'm gonna adjourn, and I'll be in touch on email, okay?
All right.
Great.
Good night,
Take
everybody.
care.
Thanks,
Have a good night.
everyone. Bye.
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 Bye,
Stay
bye.
safe.